workshop today. So what's up, guys? My name is Yung Jae, your speaker today, and I'm currently a student, Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador in University Technology Malaysia. So before I start, maybe I just roughly introduce about myself. You can call me Yung Jae or Wesley. I prefer you to call me Wesley, to be honest. So who am I? Actually, I'm a fourth year electronics engineering student from UTM. And how should I describe myself is actually I'm a hackathon lover. So I've joined like more than 15 competition throughout my university time of 4 years in UTM, and end up with 6 time finalists and 2 times in top 3 for national and international competition. And I also consider myself as a sub-top developer because I learned about Laravel, Flutter, and ASP.NET, and this is something that is not so related to electronics. And you may wondering also like, why am I an electronic guy doing all some of the non-related stuff to electronics? So maybe if you are curious, then maybe you can ask during the Q&A section. And feel free to connect with me. This is my LinkedIn. You can search my name, Chiang Yong Jie, uh, through the LinkedIn to connect with me. So, yeah. So this topic, today's sharing is about GitHub, right? So I'm not sure if you guys are wondering what is the animal on the GitHub logo. When I first know about GitHub, right, I thought that it's a cat, but not really. It's actually an octopus. Okay, so this is just an interesting fact about the Git and GitHub. So later I will be covering some of the basics regarding on how we are able to implement version control and to collaborate using GitHub. So to be honest, right, Git and GitHub, this topic is quite big, and there is quite a lot of function and possibility that can be done. But this workshop will be focusing more on the basics and introduction part. All right. So before I get into Git and GitHub, I would like to introduce you guys a term called CLI, which is command line interface. So what is mean by command line interface is actually a text-based user interface to run program or manage computer or even interact with computer. And I think if you guys are, previously, if you guys did use about Ubuntu or Linux, then probably you will be familiar in using it. So what is exactly about CLI? And another term which is GUI. This is the opposite of CLI, which is graphical user interface. So graphical user interface is just anything you can see on the web. It's about the interface that allows us as a user to interact with the graphical components, like they will be having icons, buttons, and menus. And this is the example that I mentioned just now related to the CLI. So Git itself is actually having 2 versions. One is CLI and also UI. And for CLI, another 2 example is command prompt. In your laptop, command prompt, and also in Visual Studio Code, there will be also CLI as well. Okay. So, yep. So now I will be showing about like some of the basics computer commands. I think I'm showing my screen, right? Are you guys able to see my the whole window or just my Google Chrome? Okay. I think all right. So I think you guys are able to see. Okay. So during in the prerequisite document, right? I asked you guys to download some of the software. One is a Git, and then second one would be the Visual Studio Code, and also to register an GitHub account. So if you already downloaded Git in your laptop, then when you right-click your desktop, then you will be able to see 2 things appear, which is Git UI and also Git Bash. So Git UI is the one that you are able to access the CLI of the Git, while Git UI is the one you are able to access the graphical user interface in accessing the Git. Okay, so when talking about CLI, there will be some of the basic computer command. I will be sharing my slide into the group so that you guys can follow as well. Okay. Okay. Yep. So first, right, would be the LS. Right. So for this is this is the first simple basic computer command. LS is to list out all the contents that appear, like the folders or directory appear on the desktop. So next one would be CD, change directory. This is the way you are able to navigate to the specific folder. For example, let me make it bigger. Okay. For example, right. So this is all the folders that appeared on my desktop. And maybe I want to go into one of the folder, which is semester graduate resume, maybe. Okay, maybe I just put CD culture. Yeah. Okay. Then you are able to direct navigate into that folder. And yeah, just like what I mentioned just now, why we use CLI is actually when we are interacting with the computer, right? More often, it is more faster when you type code in accessing your folders, open up the documents, and so on, as compared to using the GUI. So using the GUI, it just means that you click the folder, you manually go and search for the folder that you want. And this is some of the practices that when doing my internship, then my internship company is trying to, we will be using the Linux system, and more often we will be using the basic computer commands. All right. So, okay. This is just some introduction regarding the basic computer commands. And so, finally, we will now get directly into the topic for Git and GitHub. So, for information, Git is not GitHub. And what is the difference between Git and GitHub? I would say that Git is a version control system that tracks the changes of the computer files. Okay. While GitHub is a cloud-based platform that uses Git, which is the version control system. So in short, Git is a system for you to do version control, while GitHub is a platform to use the Git. Okay. And in GitHub, there is quite a lot of function, I would say, like the GitHub Copilot, or even the security part for your folder management. But I won't be touching much in this topic because I will be focusing more on the Git and GitHub. Okay, so next, inside a GitHub, there will be repository. We can assume that a GitHub is like a Google Cloud. But in Google Cloud, you can put anything. You can put video, you can put any documents that you want. But at the same time, GitHub is the same as well. You are able to put in the code, your document, PDF, actually can be put into GitHub as well. But what is the difference is that it allows you to see the revision history of each of your code. So then you will be asking, what is the difference between repository and folder? So repository, I would say that is a special folder that apply version control. Okay, so this is a difference between the normal folder in your laptop as compared to repository that exists in GitHub. Okay, all right. So just now I keep mentioning the word version control. So I think you guys will be wondering about like, what is mean by version control. So version control, right, is when you try to maybe draft out a essay or maybe to write a code, then you'll be drafting out a lot of version. Like first time you just do some draft, and then second time you improve from the draft into the proper text, and third time you try to do some add-ons to perfect the essay that you write. But when you want to look back the first version that you want to see, because maybe there is something that you didn't include in your last version, but how are you able to navigate back to the first version? So what we usually do is like maybe just create 3 copies of Microsoft Words that contain 3 different versions of the essay that we have written. But this process is quite, I think, not effective. And secondly, is like you need to find your folder. So this is how actually what it means by version control. And GitHub is actually able to help you in that when you are dealing with your code version. Okay. And next, right, I would like to introduce another terminology, because later I will be repetitively mention about these 2 words. One is local, and also another one would be remote. So what is mean by local? Local is actually the repository inside your laptop, while remote or the server, right, is actually the referring to the repository that you uploaded to the GitHub. Okay, so you can imagine that when you create a version control folder or repository, one would be in your laptop. In your laptop, which is local, while another one would be at a remote site. Remote site is actually the website. So you can just go to the website and then open your GitHub, and then you're able to see the repository, which later I will demo. Okay. And this system is able to help you in doing the synchronization. So what is mean by synchronization between the code version that you had and also, I mean, among your friends, maybe your PC and your friend's PC. So for example, right, when you write a line of code, it's I think you guys can see, right, although a little bit small, I mean the text that I write. So in your remote, the code base is actually writing out b equal to 1. But in your local side, you're trying to add on some modification regarding on your code. Then you add on a equal to 1 above the b equal to 1. At the same time, your friends is also doing some modification. So he or she is adding on c equal to 1 below the b equal to 1. So now each of you are having different code. So GitHub is actually able to help you to synchronize, which is to update the code base in the remote side with the changes that you have made and your friend have made. And then you are able to update your code at your local site with the changes in the GitHub. So now, if each of you and your friends, right, is now able to share the same code, I mean the code changes and so on. So this is what I mean by synchronization. Okay. So I think that's all is about the theory part for the explanation. And we will be doing some hands-on session later. So far, I think I would like to ask on the floor, right? Do you guys have any question? Or is it me too fast in when I try to explain and you want to have more clarification? Yeah. Okay, check. Okay, all right. So now we'll do some hands-on session. So just I already shared the slide in the group. So maybe I share in the chat window as well. Okay. All right. So okay. So first of all, right. So I need you guys to access the GitHub on the web. Okay, just type in GitHub and then log in through the account that you have created. Yeah. Okay. So inside the repository here, so this is what I mean by a repository. This is all the folder that has version control. Okay. And this is where I put all the programming projects to be uploaded here, and then it can be private or public. So public is like you are able to let other people to search for your projects. While private is that you can only see it by yourself, and you just need to click on the new green button here. And maybe I just created randomly a project called MLSA. Right, so I will just put it as public. And I think I didn't want to add on this one, so I just create a repository. Okay, so now the repository is already in the cloud, I would say. Then you'll need to create a folder at your local. So I just open my Git bash. So I will be using the command line CLI for most of the time because I think it is more convenient as compared to GUI. Okay. So just now I mentioned about some of the syntax, right, regarding the let me put here regarding the computer command. So I will be trying to just randomly build a folder. Then you can just use the command mkdir. Then I just put it as ls. Okay. ls. So ls is the one that you will be using to see all the directory access in your desktop. Okay. So now you can see that after I use the command, then yeah, I will be able to see MLSA test directory that I created just now. Okay. So yeah, I mean all the things is actually inside the slide. Then you can refer back to this slide to see some of the computer commands that I mentioned. Okay. Then I will want to navigate into it. So I just type MLSA and then S. Okay. So okay. A trick here, right? Your folder, right? It's not necessary for you to type the whole name for your folder name. Okay, you can just type in order to, and it will help you to automatically generate the whole name for the folder exists in that directory. Okay. So after I created the folder, and let me go back to here. So even here, right, there is a instruction that you can follow in order to initialize the repository in your local or your PC. So I just type in git init to initialize. So now I will able to see that the Git version control system is already initialized in our folder. So how I was able to see that is actually they will be having a main branch here. Okay, so this one I will be explaining later. Then I will try to create something. I create something, for example, like the touch read init readme.md. Okay, what is mean by task, right? Task is actually to create a folder. Okay, so now I created a folder. Sorry, not folder, a file. Yeah, a file known as readme.md. Then it is now already exists in the directory. So how I was able to, okay, let me go back into the slide first. So now I would say the repository is already initialized in your laptop. Then how are we able to actually commit or to update our changes in the directory with the server or the GitHub? Okay, then we will be need to use the git add and also git commit. Okay, so what is mean by git add? Git add is actually to move the changes that you have made in the working directory into the staging area. Okay, so what is the difference between git add file and also git add dot? So dot, right, is actually to move all the file. So everything inside the file, every changes, every code changes or file addition that you have made, all of them will be moved into the staging area. While git add file name is that you just want to add certain file into the staging area. Then you'll be curious about what is mean by staging area. Okay, so this is a working directory. First of all, you'll need to add the changes that you want into the staging area before you commit it into a repository. So you can imagine that git add is actually you are shopping, you are trying to see which of the items that you want to put in, you want to buy in the supermarket. So you add on the items that you want into the trolley. While so you can imagine that your trolley is your staging area. Then git commit is that you will be pushing your trolley to the counter. Okay. So by labeling the whole trolley that consists of the items that you want. Okay, so that's the difference between git add and also git commit. Okay. And then when you use the syntax for git commit, right, then you'll need to do some labeling, which is the important message that regarding the changes that you have made. All right. So after you put your items into the trolley and you push your trolley to the counter, then you'll need to do the payment, right? So that is where we do the git push. So what is mean by git push is actually the final step for you to upload your all the changes in your folder or repository into the GitHub. Okay, so what about the origin, right? So if there is an origin, it's actually to push the local branch, right? So branch, I will talk about it later. So now I will be continuing to upload the changes that I've made. So now I will be doing git add. Oh, okay. So now I did git add, then I want to commit, git commit. Commit. Then I will need to put the message, right? So maybe I just put it first commit. Okay. So now after I write down the git commit syntax, right? It will be telling you like, oh, there is one file changes, right? That you have created a new folder. Okay. And next, I will skip the git branch. Then you will be need to use the syntax git remote add origin. Okay, so this is just to link your local repository with the GitHub repository. So actually, for each of the repository that you created, right, they will be having a specific link for it. For example, right, for this one, right, would be github.com and then my username and also the file that I have. So this link, right, is actually the link for you to access the repository. Okay. So now I will need to type in this command to synchronize between uh oh, between your local PC repository and also the server. Okay. So after I add, I commit. Then the last step would be push. Git push. New origin. Right. Okay. So what is mean by origin, right? It's just how I mentioned, right? Especially to push the local branch. So now I was in the branch main. So I will need to push the local branch into the server side. Yep. Okay. So now you can say, hey, I mean, you're able to see that it's telling you that the new branch is being created and it's being updated. So when you refresh your screen, right, then you're able to see the folder that I have created, which is a readme.md file. Okay. All right. So next would be the Git pull. So Git pull is actually to get the latest changes from the remote. So what is mean by getting the latest changes from a remote? So you can imagine that, right? Now this repository can be you and your friend. So if you want to add your friend, you just go to the setting here, and then you are able to uh go to the collaborator side and then to add on people. So you can just add on your username, I mean your friend's username or your friend's email to add them into this repository. Okay, all right. So now you can imagine that this project repository is consisting not only you, but also your friends. So when your friends is trying to do some changes, maybe they upload their code, right? Maybe I just writing something, new code. Okay. So now I was manually doing the addition of the changes and also the committing through the server side. So now I can say that there is a new changes inside the readme.md file. However, in my local folder, I still didn't have the new changes that is being made at the at the server side. So I just need to git pull. Okay. So when you access the local folder, then you're able to see there is a your local repository is being updated with the new changes. Okay. So this is the how you are able to add your folder, add your repository into the GitHub. So when I didn't get to know about GitHub, when I was in year one, how I do it is actually to upload my code base into Google Drive and then to send the whole Google Drive link to my friends. And then my friends download the code to see and then do the changes and upload back into the Google Drive. And then it's quite difficult to do that. So by using GitHub, it is going to help you to make make the whole process become easier. Okay. So yep, this is what I mean by Git push. You are basically updating your code from your local to the remote. At the same time, Git pull is actually to uh, update your local folder with the remote. So when you are doing the Git pull, right, there might be a chances for having merge conflict. So what is mean by merge conflict? For example, this is your local computer. It is writing out A equal to 1, B equal to 2, C equal to 3, and D equal to 4. So you make some changes. For example, you add on the Z equal to 5. However, the remote side, your friends updated something which is Z equal to 10. So when you try to update your current code, then there will be a conflict because the system don't know which one to choose. Is it to choose Z equal to 5 or Z equal to 10? So this is where you will need to take action to solve the merge conflict. Okay. So then they will be appearing two different phase at your code. And this is how you will be observing, right? So they will be having the current changes is Z equal to 5, and then the incoming changes is Z equal to 10. Then you will need to accept or to delete the line of code that you want. Okay. Then after you do the modification, then you will need to commit back the results. Okay. So I will try to do the example. So maybe right here I just add on some code. So yep, I was trying to open my folder using Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is the IDE that you're able to do the coding and also to interpret. So not only Visual Studio Code, you can use Sublime Text or Microsoft Studio, Visual Studio, sorry, Visual Studio. Right. So now in my case, right, I will be opening it using the Visual Studio Code. And if you already downloaded the Visual Studio Code, then when you click the folder, the file, then you will be having the open with code. So I just do some changes. Maybe I put in yo, what's up? What's up? Yep. Okay. That is already automatically set. Yep. Yo, what's up? Okay. So I just git add git commit. So this is to save the changes that you have made. Adding text. Okay. So I already do the changes at the local side. So I just get back to the server side and I manually do the changes at the server side. So I just write watchdog. Okay, I just randomly do some changes lah. Yeah. Okay, so now I do the changes. Yeah, I just try to git pull. Oh, okay. So when in this case, right, when I do the git pull, then you will be having the merge config. Then you will need to open your file and do the changes. Okay. So yep, maybe I just accept the current changes. Yep. All right. So for information, right, if you guys are now following the what I have done, right, what you see is actually maybe there is no green color and also the blue color. This is because I install some packages in my Visual Studio, so they will be having the blue and green color. But if you guys are not having this green and also blue color for you to do the selection, then you can just manually delete the line of code from here. For example, this equal sign, the symbol is actually to separate your current changes and also the incoming changes. Then you will need to delete the whole line of code that you don't want from the separation of this symbol until the changes here. Okay, all right. So now I update the code. So I just need to hit add. So yep, another thing is that you will be able to see merging here. Merging, yeah, merging, yeah. So this is where it indicates that you are doing the merging operations where you need to manually modify the code so that it is able to be merged between the local repository and also the server repository file. All right. Git add and then repeat the process, git commit. Merge config, etc. Okay, so I just git push to push back what I have done in my local repository. Okay, so yep. So this is the whole process that you are able to collaborate with your friends with the code changes that you have shared and that you have met or your friends have met. Okay. So following the merge config, then I want to introduce the next one is actually to do inspection, which is the Git status and also the Git log. So Git status, right, is actually for you to display the status and the staging area. So whether I just write Git status. So far I think everything is up to date. But if I do a new file, maybe just main.py, then I git add .org. So the main.py file is being updated into the staging area. So I just try to do the git status again. So yep, it's telling you that the changes to be committed. And the main.py file, this is the element they're still in the staging file. I mean staging steps. So maybe you do the git add git commit operation and then you forgot what are you doing right now. Then this is how you are able to check back the status. So while git log is for you to know about the commit that you have done. Okay. All right. So the next one would be git clone. So git clone will be very direct. For example, like you have found out some of the code, right? For example, you are trying to search for the code to do maybe a web based on this angle, and then you want to see how others are doing that. So you can just scroll around in the GitHub, right? So maybe I just type in a MLS. Yeah, I use the example for MLS. Okay. So for example, right? So this guy is already like uploading all the code base, all the learning material on GitHub that you want to access. Then you can just copy the link, and then you just type in. You just type in. You just need to type in Git clone with the link of the repository that you want. Then it will download the whole folder. So yep, here into your laptop from the server. Okay. Yep. So this is what I mean by Git clone. You are actually to create a copy or remote repository in the local machine. But what I mean by copy is actually you do not have the rights to access the code. Like you want to do the modification and then to upload back, right? Because you are not the collaborator, you are just creating a copy. So you are not able to make the changes for the code, I mean the code base into the original server GitHub. All right. So just now we talked about like how are you able to collaborate with your friends? How are you able to update your code with your friends' code? And now we'll be going into Git branch. Okay. So what is mean by Git branch is that you are able to create a new branches for you to do new feature or experiment. So for example, right, at this point, you are trying to develop maybe Laravel software. And then in the process of doing that, right, for example, you're doing a website for selling maybe cloth, then you want to do a feature of FBX payment. Then this way you are able to create a new branch for you to do the FBX payments feature code development instead of doing in your main branch. Why we do it like that is actually when you do something wrong during the process of developing the FBX payment, then you can separate the development, then it will not affect the main code base that you have. So yep, this is the reason why we want to do the branching. And another thing is that the practice that I did is actually when I try to do a web project with my friends, I will create like maybe three different branches with three different friends. For example, I will be doing my own branch, and then another friend would be doing their code development at his own branch before we merge together all the things we have. So this is to avoid the conflict or any error that you did during the development. Okay. Then after your friends is doing the feature is being completed, then you will be merging the both of your code together so that the web application will be completed. So that is why we need the Git branches feature. Okay. So there is several syntax here. One would be the Git branch. So Git branch is for you to check what branch are you on, and then Git checkout the B branch name is actually for you to create a new branch and also navigate to that new branch. And Git checkout is to switch the branches. So now I will try to do some example. Okay. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Let me make it bigger. So first one, I just try out the Git branch. So now I'm in the Git main branch. The branch name is actually main. Then I want to create a new branch, for example, like Wesley. So I just use the syntax Git checkout B and then Wesley branch. Okay. So now I'm already in my branch, which is the Wesley branch. So in my branch, right, maybe I just add on some file. Okay. Yeah, the most easiest example is actually to just to add some file. So I just add on touch and then FPS payment dot type. Yeah, Python. Okay. So in my branch, right, I try to add on the changes that I made. So I just still the same operation, git add and then git commit, FPS payment, and then git add. Git push, sorry. Okay. So yep, because I already created a new branch, then I need to push the branch that I've created in my local. So this time I use the Git branch, right? So it is telling me that currently there is no branches at the remote site, which is the GitHub at the server. So I will need to push my branches using the code provided. So yep, set upstream, origin, where's the branch? Okay, so everything is being updated. So when you go back to let me go back to my folder. Yep. Okay, so yep, Wesley branch has been pushed 27 seconds ago, and you if you click this button, then you're able to see main branch and also Wesley branch, right? So the main branch is actually consisting this file readme.md, but when you click on my branch, then you're able to see the changes that I've made. So this is the difference between my branch and also the main branch. Okay, so they will be not conflicting each other. Okay, then this way I will able to do my code development for separate feature before merging the both file. Okay, so for example, right, I already done my code development and then I want to merge my code with my friends. Then I will need to first of all I need to navigate first back to my main branch. So git checkout. This way you're able to need to use this syntax main. Okay, now I'm in the main branch. Then I want to merge with I want to merge the code with Wesley branch. Then I just need to use the code git merge and then Wesley branch. Okay, so when you go back here, you update, you refresh the screen, right? Anyways, oh, okay. Oh, all right. So yeah, there's a mistake. So now I did git merge, right? Git merge is actually to merge between the branches. So now you are able to see that the FPS payment.py and main.py initially is not existing in this branch, but now it is existing. But at the same time, when I refresh the GitHub, right, it's not showing the FPS payment and also the main payment because I done a mistake because I haven't save the changes into the server side. So I need to do the same operation again, git add, git commit, merging branches, and git push. Okay, so when I refresh it again, then yep, the changes is already being updated. Okay. Okay. So yep, I would say this is the end for the session for the whole intro to Git and GitHub workshop. And we will be going into the Q&A session. And I would appreciate that if you guys are able to fill in this form so that I will able to improve myself. I know like how how is my planning regarding this workshop? How is the material? How is my presentation flow? Is it suitable or is it too fast or too slow? So I would appreciate if you guys are able to fill in a feedback form so that I will be able to improve myself. And not forgetting the UTM iOS patch because they are the one that helps me and in assisting me to promote this workshop. So feel free to visit their website and also to like their Facebook pages. Okay. So, yep. Is there any question on the floor? Is it everything clear? Okay. If in readme.md file in the branch were edited, when after git merge, which version of the readme.md file will be saved? Okay, so for this one, right, it's actually the same concept as well with the Git tool. So when like the changes of the file, for example, right, this one. Okay. So even you are merging the file, right? So it will also like it's quite intelligent. It's able to help you to detect the code changes that you have made. So if like this situation happen, then they will be having a merge conflict. Then this is where you will need to go and decide inside the readme.md file which version of which line of code that you want and then which line of code that you don't want. But if there is no merge conflict, for example, like you are adding the code right below here, which is not merging with this line of code, then it will automatically help you to merge together your line of code. Okay. Do I answer your question? Yeah, thank you. All right. So, okay. Let me see. By the way, Fu Zheng is here. Fu Zheng. Yeah, Fu Zheng. Okay, yep. So, wait a minute. So I think Fu Zheng, do you have anything to promote for the iOS UTM? Because soon there will be an event organized by UTM iOS workshop as well regarding the UTM. So it's about the case study and business development workshop. Then the details uh, will be announced in UTM iOS group soon. UTM iOS Facebook page soon for the UTM student. Okay. So another thing I want to add on is actually so you guys, after you guys attend this workshop, right, there will be a chance for you to win the LinkedIn Premium for 1 year, right? So I will need to, so after this workshop, right, then I will need to send the recording for this workshop to the Microsoft pages, and then they will be verifying after like 3 weeks. Then you will be giving out the LinkedIn Premium based on the number of participants.